If you're about to purchase some groceries, will you go to a supermarket 10 kilometers away if there are 10 supermarkets within just 2 kilometers? You wouldn't go to a supermarket 10 kilometers away if there are 5 supermarkets or maybe 10 supermarkets nearby in a range of 2 kilometers. Unless you may be a vegan and you are going to a vegan supermarket and the only one is 10 kilometers away. That's the only reason you might go 10 kilometers away for some groceries, which is expensive and far. Naturally, you would go to the nearest grocery stores or the nearest supermarket. Now, why am I mentioning this? Just think about it. Think about another thing. If you have a drug addict that needs his dope, he will not travel across the country to go to some weird discotheque to purchase his dope. No, he will look for a dealer or a hotspot nearby where he can get his dope. And because he doesn't want to admit he has an addiction, he doesn't want everyone to know he is purchasing dope. So he wants a place nearby in secret where he can get his dope, even if he needs to pay a bit more for it. It's logical, right? Now, in line with this, understand the following. When you have people that don't want to face anything in life, they just want to be left alone, having all the benefits of life without actually participating in life. I'll already explain this in another video. It's impossible to have the benefits of life without participating in it. But that's what worldly people want. And some worldly people are desperate for it. So their only option is to cheat in life to get the benefits without having to participate. And I'm not talking about employment, because in employment many people are exploited and drained. So I'm not talking about the capitalistic system. I'm talking about life in itself, relationships, spirituality. People want all the benefits without having to put up with what comes along with the benefits. Now, if you have an individual that doesn't want to face anything, he or she is narcissistic, then the only way they can remain with this mindset without killing themselves slowly over time is by having someone to dump their frustrations upon. So they want to exploit, then dump and flee. They flee because they don't want to be confronted with the consequence of their actions, because they don't want to be held accountable. They want to be left alone. They want to benefit, and they're frustrated or they have enough, they dump, and everyone else has to take it, and they flee. They don't want to be held accountable. That's the modus operandi of worldly people in general. Such an individual often wants a controlled environment in which they're never challenged, because the root longing is that they're never challenged. So that's why they want to belong to a group where everyone dresses the same, speaks the same, moves the same, because it gives them a sense of control, and that's what they're craving. Now, if someone is like this, they don't want to be challenged, and they crave this sense of control, which is their drug, by the way, which is their self-validation, then who is the most likely target for such an individual? Of course, there are people far off that they may become jealous or envious about. That exists, but in general, they tend to target those near them with their negative energy. Just like a drug addict will not travel across the country to get his dope, he will go to the nearest discotheque or the nearest club to get what he needs, quote unquote needs. The same way, common people, when they want to dump negative energy, they want supply nearby. It's supply nearby. That's how common folks operate. They want people nearby to give them sympathy, and they want people nearby upon whom they can dump their negative energy. It's all about their relief. That's how it goes with most common people. Now, often, the same people that provide them sympathy are also the people they dump upon. So, common people don't want you to be free. They don't want you to have many options. They don't want you to have spending capacity. If you have a high salary, but at the same time you're stuck at a job 40 hours or 50 hours in a week, you can't really spend that amount of money because you need to work. Or if you don't work but you have to pay high taxes, you still don't have a high spending capacity. And this gives them ease because now they can control you. But if you have, at least that's what they think, if you have a high spending capacity, they can't control you. You can spend the currency how you want, and how you spend it will have consequences. And they can't control the consequences. They just have to find a way to deal with whatever comes from it. They can't handle this. They become frustrated and upset when they can't control your spending habits. That's how common folks are. They want you in a state where they can dump on you. Just think about it. If you have a 9-to-5 job, and you have no choice but to be there because you need to have a job or else you're homeless, then you are available for narcissistic supply. Anytime they're upset and they don't want to face something in life, or as a group they don't want to face something, they can always count on you as a scapegoat. If you were never the scapegoat before, they can scapegoat you because you need the job, you need to be there. So you have to find a way to put up with their abuse. But let's say now that you do have a job, but you have many investments in many businesses. So you don't even need that job to begin with. When they begin to act out of line, you just stop coming to work, you're done. And they're left there with their negative energy. And they're going to feel stupid. They don't want this. They want people around that are available to their dumping. They want supply nearby. They want people around that they can feed off, that is, drain sympathy from, and they want people around upon whom they can dump their frustrations. That's how common people are. Supply nearby. Now there are common people who are upright, who want the best, who want to do the right thing. You have those amongst them. But overall, common people are narcissistic. They will whatever they will, and they want to enforce their will and not deal with the consequences of their will. Give them the option or promote the right to dump and victimize someone. And you'll see many common people will take that right. And they'll even enforce that right. But when consequences are there, and the whole community is haunted by the violence, now they don't want to deal with it. Now it's not their problem. Even though they're the ones that initiated it, and they're the ones that keep it going. That's common people. That's worldly people. Supply nearby. This is a principle that the pagan rulers of this world know very well. That's why the political divisions of countries are based on this. Where the capitals are located, where the supermarkets are located, where the liquor stores are located, it's all designed on the principle supply nearby. Because if common folks have to do a lot to get their narcissistic supply, they explode also, so you don't want that. So you want to make it as easy as possible for them to keep them docile and sweet. I hate to say it, but that's how common people are. Supply nearby, remember this. So that's why it is important not to be predictable. To be predictable means that others can have a hold on you. And common people want this because they want supply nearby. The moment you're free, the moment you have real life options, the moment you operate in natural autonomy, they get upset. Even if you don't harm anyone, they can't handle it, that they can't have a grip on you. So don't long for a situation in which you're never challenged. Don't long for this relieved outcome that worldly people are longing for. It's a trap. Because if you get this relieved outcome, you become extra vulnerable to common people. Remember what Christ said, I sent you as sheep amongst wolves. And many common people, not all, but many common people are covert wolves. They're wolves in sheep's clothing. Yes, that's what many of them are. Know what you're dealing with. So, examine your expectations, examine your desires. If your desires are not Christ-centered, it's a trap. It's a trap when your desires are not Christ-centered. I'm repeating this because it's very important. The meme I'm using for the background of this video reveals a demon and a wizard. The demon represents paranormal, the wizard represents the elite. The elite and the demons are far more practical than sometimes they're even more practical than many believers. They see clearly when something is a trap. They know very well how a trap operates because they trap the human population. And they promote lifestyles and solutions that are traps. So I'm telling you, look at the bigger picture. Unless you want to become supply nearby. And I'm sure you don't want to become supply nearby, don't you? Well, that's it for now. Keep agreeing with Christ and be at peace.